Like we mentioned before, that the physiology, the word physiology means a function. So today we are going to discuss together chapter 3, talking about basic electrophysiology. We just already touched this point before, and you find that it is very easy to go over it together, and it will be like how our heart is working. The myocardial working cells, you know that we have special character of the heart. We know that the muscle inside our body are 3 groups. We have skeletal muscle, like the biceps. We have smooth muscle, like within our intestine. And we have the unique one, which is the cardiac muscle. And this muscle has an harmony to work, as I told you, the atria, then the ventricle in succession, working for contraction to push the blood in the direction of the cardiac circulatory way, like we mentioned before, from right to left to left. Okay, so what is the myocardial primary function? You know that we have contraction, and this contraction means systole, and it is followed by relaxation. And according to this technique, contraction and relaxation, it makes like the circulation. If it is like only just contraction, so what makes suction? So suction happen during the act of relaxation. So the push, then we suck, so this make the flow of the blood all over our body. So we have special character of the pacemaker. We mentioned that this pacemaker is amazing. It is working by itself. It has its own capability to perform the job without any intervention of any other system. So what is the pacemaker? The pacemaker, we mentioned before that we have special areas like the SA node, then the internodal pathway, then the AV node, and then the bundle of His and right and left bundle branch, and lastly the Purkinje fibers. But what is the phenomena we need to know? We need to know that there is a threshold. What is the threshold? Threshold means it is the minimum stimulus necessary for the heart to contract. Like what? I gave this example many times before, that what is like the wage for medical assistant job, for example, just example. I would say that the minimum wage for medical assistant is like $23 per hour. Okay? So if I offer you $20, are you going to accept? It is unfair, right? I didn't say no, I will not accept. Yes, of course. So this is also what is the heart do exactly. If he is not receiving, or if the heart is not receiving enough stimulants, he will not contract. So this is what we call threshold. What is the threshold we touch in our study? Threshold of pain. You remember, guys, threshold of pain is what? Suppose I have headache, and El Haja, the same time, she has headache. I am saying, oh, I have severe headache. I can't do my job. I can't walk. I can't talk. I can't eat. It is severe. I can't resist. El Haja has the same headache, but she is quiet. She is not complaining like me. What this means? My threshold is so low, so I feel everything is like very exaggerated, and El Hajja, her threshold is very high. She cannot complain such way. So our heart has the same character. Without the threshold, it will not respond to contraction. So this is very important, the threshold. And when it is contracting, it will contract by its own power. Like what? Okay, Irene will not accept the wage, which is $20 per hour. Okay, Irene, I will give you $23, which is the minimum wage. Okay, are you okay? Yes. Are you happy? Yes. Okay, do your job. Shall Irene do the job? Say that I am not working 8 hours. I just work 5 hours. Why? Because I am taking $23, not like $25. No, so far you accepted, Irene, you have to work full time, right? So this is also the heart. So far the heart accept the threshold, he has to work completely. He will not say that I am not working fully, I work like 50%, I am working 70% or 90%. No, you have to work like Irene. So far you accept the wage, which is $23. You have to work 8 hours like the protocol. That's it. So all our heart is the same, working in the principle. What is the threshold and what is the phenomena? It is all or none. What we mean by all? All means all the cells working together, or none, none of them working together. We don't have a percentage. Clear? Then we have 4 criteria, and this is question in the exam asking you about this type of phenomena or criteria of the cardiac cell belong to what? If we say it has a power to contract, so this is what it is, a mechanical function, contract, mechanical function. It has another phenomena, which is automaticity. As I told you, when we put the heart inside normal cell and outside the body, it works by itself, automaticity. So this phenomena is what? It is electrical phenomena or electrical function. Then excitability. Cells are very excited to do the job. So it is also not inert, not lazy. It is excited. Like if I ask you, let us do EKG, all of you are very excited to learn and to practice and do the EKG in a very perfect way. But if I notice someone is like, I'm not interested, I'm lazy, this subject is not good for me, so I will say this is not, or this students is not interesting. So excitability is another electrical job. The last one is conductivity. Why? Because we mentioned that the electrical activity going from one point to another point, so it has the conduction. Like you have a wire, and when you plug the wire, the electrical current go from one point from the outlet of the wall, go to the machine and make it work. So it has a conduction. If the wire is cut, no electricity will be conducted. So we notice that we have 4 criteria, and these 4 criteria, all of them are electrical except the first one, which is contractility. It is mechanical. So pay attention. This is question in the exam about the nature of the criteria. Which one is mechanical? Which one is electrical? I hope it is clear. All right. As I learn all my students that pay attention that we have in your book these slides, and these slides, it looks like gold. The color of this slide looks like gold, and I express it as gold slide or gold table. Why it is gold? It makes summary for everything we are learning in previous statements. So it is like make a collection and summarize and refresh your knowledge. Like we see here, what is the automaticity, the SA node, the AV junction, and the Purkinje fiber, which is, as I told you before, the 3 generators inside our heart. Excitability, all the cardiac cells. Conductivity, all cardiac cells. Contractility, all myocardial cells. Which one is mechanical? The mechanical one is only contractility. So when you find in your book this page with these slides, make like highlights or make like bookmark you have to read this slides or this table. It is very important for your refreshment and make summary to you to make your job easy. When we look for certain physical and chemical nature of our cells, it is like easy, and this is also another question exam asking you what about which one is electrolyte and which one is anion. Anion and electrolyte, we have cation and anion. The cation has a positive charge, and anion has a negative charge, okay? So in the exam, they will ask you about which one is cation, which one is anion. So pay attention for this, please. The cation has a positive charge. The anion has a negative charge. Let us have examples of cations which play an important job into our body. Potassium. What's the symbol of potassium? It is K. And you notice it has a plus sign. This means it is a cation. And this cation, potassium, is very important for relaxation. And the word relaxation is very important. Why? Let me ask you guys. I think you have a very good knowledge that if I have cramps, when you hear someone like develop cramps, especially for old people, cramps, so you find that the doctor ask them or advise them eat banana, right? Eat banana to avoid cramps. So what is the main component of banana? It is potassium. So potassium is very good to prevent contraction. This means it is a very good for relaxation. Take care of this example. Then we have a sodium. Then we have a calcium. Calcium is very important for contraction. Not only the heart, any muscle in the body need calcium to contract, need potassium to relax. Take care of this. Any muscle inside our body needs calcium to contract. Remember, calcium starts by letter C. Contract start by letter C, so you will never forget it. C, C. Okay? Relaxation needs potassium. You got it? And we have, beside calcium, potassium, and sodium, sorry, so thank you. We have magnesium and we have phosphorus in addition. So remember, all of these are cations. All right. What about the movement of ions, which is the negative charge? It is going, we have what we call sodium pump. We have here, yes, this one. Look, this is what we call sodium pump. When we look to the cell here, you see the cell, you see my cursor? The cell containing the nucleus inside, and inside this nucleus we have what? K plus, this is potassium. And outside the cell we have sodium. Sodium and potassium don't like each other. Put this in your mind. Sodium and potassium don't like each other. If I don't like, and this is not good, if I hit someone, I will not stay in the same location he is sitting next to me. So potassium inside the cell nucleus. Sodium is outside. When the muscle or the electrical stimulus go to the cell, we will find it is a good chance for sodium to jump in. You see here, Sodium is jump in. Look to this arrow. I make it up for you. You will find sodium will jump inside the cell. And as I told you, sodium and potassium hate each other. So potassium will leave the cell, go outside. And this make what? Make the cell feel unhappy. The cell need potassium to come back. So what happened with repolarization? Repolarization start, so we will find sodium go out and potassium come back in. Okay. So this diagram is very important for you to remember you about what we call sodium pump. Like we learned before that we have the word systole means a contraction. Contraction. And we need to learn one more word, which is depolarization. So I need everyone taking notes to consider. Contraction means systole, means depolarization. You got it? Again, contraction means systole, means depolarization. Why I am emphasizing on this part? Because we are going to use this description many times. So I don't need one say that I am confused, Dr. Israel, what we mean by depolarization. I will tell you, look to the definition. Depolarization means a contraction. So sometimes I explain to you that it is a contraction of the ventricle. And sometimes you find the book say it is a depolarization of the ventricle. So both are the same meaning. What else? For relaxation, again, I need to make your job easy. Relaxation start by letter R, and repolarization start also by letter R. So relaxation, repolarization, diastole are the same meaning. You got it, guys? And this explains for us the ionic shift and the sodium pump. And like I told you, when we have no activity of that cell, we will get what we call resting potential, which is iso. If you remember yesterday, we had the word iso means it is neutral. It is equal outside and inside. So far we have equality. This is what we call isoelectric line, which we mentioned yesterday. Then we will notice the following, which is very important for us, is when the heart contracts. You remember these waves? We mentioned yesterday, this is the wave cardiac cycle. Can anyone share with me? I need to refresh my knowledge with you. Who can share with me? No one?
The first wave is P.
This one?
P.
Very good. And this one?
Is
Q.
Very good. And this?
R. And the
Very
one
good.
at the bottom is S. And then
Very
it's
good.
T.
T. Excellent. Very good. And we mentioned that P represent what? P wave represent what? Atrial contraction.
Atrial contraction.
Very good. Atrial contraction. And the QRS represent what?
Ventricular contraction.
Very good. Ventricular contraction. So Look, guys, here, if the heart receive another stimulus during the act of contraction, you see? Like what? Again, Irene accepted the job. Sorry, I'm using your name, Irene. Irene accepted the job. Okay, so Irene has a duty from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Okay, and I offer her another job at the same time. Can she accept? Of course not. She is busy. But she can accept after work done. She can work like 2 jobs, but she cannot do 2 jobs at the same time. You understand me? So here, the heart is in job. What is the job? He is in contraction. So he cannot do another job to contract again. So this is what we call absolute refractory period. The heart is not capable to do another contraction while he is doing contraction. Make sense? All right. So this is what we call absolute. So Irene will say, I'm sorry, Dr. Israel, I can't accept this job because I am already in another job. But if you, look guys, if you give me chance to have another job after done with my work, but you have to pay for me more because I am going to work at night. So instead of paying $23, you have to pay $25. I will say what? Okay, I agree. So if I give her another job, but with extra salary, she accepted. So this is what we call relative refractory period. So the heart can respond by contraction here, Serena, in one condition. If you pay or give strong stimulus rather than the previous one. So these 2 refractory period are of great importance as a question in the exam. If you understand these 2 issues, it's okay. If you feel like it is not easy, I will repeat it for you. Are you okay with this one? All right.
Will you actually repeat the second part? The
The second
relative
part,
refractory?
the relative means what? If you compare this one, keep this in front of you, and this one, you see the difference? This one, the heart is already in job of contraction. Here, the job already done the contraction, which is 1, and start to get relaxation. So starting get relaxation, so Irene can accept the other job, but I have to pay for her extra money, which is $25 instead of 23. So this is what we call relative refractory. Make sense?
Previous slide really quick, please.
Say it again.
Can you go back to the previous slide really quick, please?
Yes. Yes.
So Dr. Israel, so absolute refractory period refers to the QRS and part of the T wave, whereas relative is just the end of the T wave.
Yes, so far we are going to start another cardiac cycle. We get new P wave, QRS, and so on. So this will be repeated again and again and again. All right. So we're done with this chapter, which is very short. So we know about the criteria of the heart. We mentioned we have 4 criteria. One of them is mechanical and the rest are electrical. And the rule of the heart regarding the threshold, and the rule, which is all or none law, that the heart can contract as a full capacity or no work at all. And we mentioned about the absolute and relative, and what about the sodium pump and the relation between cation and anion. I think we done with our chapter today. So if you would like to complete or to go by chapter 4, still we have time. We can go by chapter 4, and I will cancel for you afternoon second meeting. So what you prefer? Go by chapter 4?
Yeah, I would prefer keep going.
Okay,
I prefer to keep
go.
going too because I have to go to work.
Yeah, we
All
should keep
right.
going because I have to work at 2 o'clock too.
Okay, okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.